Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson used to be the untouchable superstar, that million-watt grin, carved physique, and the immortal line, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" carried him from WWE legend to Hollywood royalty, a walking emblem of grit and success. Lately, though, that polished image is showing stress fractures. A WrestleMania promo turned into a social media fiasco, podcast spots have felt flat, and a Maui wildfire fundraiser drew backlash as tone-deaf. Small stumbles that, strung together, look much worse. His once bulletproof persona has started to feel like a burden. In roughly 5 months, he reportedly shed about 5 million Instagram followers, a stunning slide for a man who seemed destined never to fall. Was it overreach? A hunger to please everyone? Or simple misjudgment? Every misstep adds another piece to the puzzle of how a universally loved figure suddenly lost trust. In this video, we peel back the layers of Dwayne Johnson's rise and unravel the choices that led to his rapid tumble, and to make sense of today's fallout, we have to return to where it all began.
Rock is the fakest celebrity in Hollywood.
There's not a chance in hell he's clean.
No.
Not a chance in hell. As big as The Rock is, at 50, he's so massive, and he's so different than he was when he was 30.
Dwayne Johnson didn't pop out of the cradle a superstar. He was raised in wrestling and had to fight for every inch. In 1996, he stumbled into WWE as Rocky Maivia, a squeaky clean babyface the crowd rejected. Chants of "Rocky sucks" were his first real taste of public failure. Rather than quit, he reinvented himself into The Rock, arrogant, razor-tongued, and magnetic. "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" wasn't just a line, it was a manifesto, and suddenly millions loved to hate him. The ring was only the beginning. Hollywood was the real proving ground. Early films like The Scorpion King, 2002, and The Rundown, 2003, had critics writing him off as a wrestler stuck in movie clothes, but everything changed with Fast Five, 2011. As Luke Hobbs, he became that tough, funny, anti-hero who cemented him as an A-list action star. Reinvention became his superpower, and his weakness. Johnson learned to become whatever the audience wanted: cocky wrestler, dependable movie hero, relentless social media motivator. But when you keep remaking yourself to please everybody, authenticity can crack. The fissures appeared in 2016 when he took to Instagram to call out unnamed co-stars, widely read as a dig at Vin Diesel, labeling behaviors cowardly and unprofessional. Later reports suggested he'd pushed for special contract terms, no losing fight scenes, more screen time, and that revelation chipped away at the team player image. He deleted the post and released a peace video, but the doubt had already started to spread. After that, the tiniest inconsistencies ballooned into scandals. Take the bizarre In-N-Out saga, where across 2017 to 2023, he repeatedly framed visits as a first time, prompting followers to squint and question whether the charm was spontaneous or staged.
What about The Rock? You think he's natural?
Oh, he's absolutely not natty. They said he did a 12-week training program for WWE, and he had a full six-pack, leanest he's ever been. He's 53. I'm like, guys, he's on everything. Not only do I not think he's natural, I don't think he's on HRT. I think he's on the kitchen sink.
Really?
I think he's on all of it and then some. You don't get big like that into your 50s compared to your 40s and 30s. Like, you see some photos of him in his 30s, he's way bigger and leaner now. Then you watch his little workout. This is The Rock, I'm gonna go through my leg workout. And then he gets in there. He had 2 plates on each side of the leg press. This is the weight I'm like, it's his first set, he's warming up. No, he's stuck with that weight the whole time. So he did this workout, he's like, look how hard it is. 30-pound walking lunges. 2 plates was every exercise. I'm like, is he a bikini competitor? And he's faking how hard it is. You know, like, oh, yeah, like he's grimacing.
Sounds like you don't like him because he's tall.
I love The Rock, which is the funny thing. I don't hate him for it, but it's like, come on. He's just training like a...
Piece by piece, the picture shifted. The polished, pleasing persona that once felt genuine began to look like careful construction, and when a star puts the brand ahead of the person, fans start asking what, if anything, is real.
I can tell you with a little bit of uncertainty because I failed math, I was probably at that time ingesting about anywhere between 6 to well, I would say possible, almost 8,000 calories a day.
I can tell you there is no way The Rock burns off enough calories to average 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day and look like this. If he actually ate those kind of calories, 6,000 to 8,000 a day, he would be 100 pounds overweight. There is no way he eats this much.
The Rock is not natural, okay? The Rock, he's not a patient of mine, so I don't worry about getting sued.
We're going to be talking about what steroid cycle I think The Rock uses.
And the reason why this is history in the making is because this is the very first time that I have ever tried an In-N-Out burger or In-N-Out fries or anything from In-N-Out for that matter.
By December 2023, Johnson rolled out a third so-called first visit to In-N-Out Burger, complete with a wide-eyed act about not knowing how to order or even pay, and a humble brag about leaving a generous tip. But the internet's memory is long. Fans quickly unearthed his earlier posts proving he'd been there before, and commentary exploded. Popular YouTuber Penguin Zero dropped a sharp breakdown that racked up over 6 million views, calling out how The Rock had spun the first-time story at least 3 times across 6 years.
I do eat 5 to 6, sometimes 7 meals a day. I was probably at that time ingesting about anywhere between 6 to, well, I would say possible, almost 8,000 calories a day.
I have said for about 5 or 6 years now that The Rock is the fakest celebrity. This is the third time he's done it. He keeps pretending that he's trying In-N-Out for the first time every couple of years. The other 2 videos are still on your Instagram page.
What might have been harmless PR suddenly felt like a calculated performance. Another sign that the carefully curated image was starting to fray. An ex-user snarked, "First time?" or the first time he forgot his PR script. Soon after, Johnson quietly tweaked the caption to read, "First time In-N-Out Burger experience?" Again, thanking fans for jogging his memory about a visit he'd supposedly totally forgotten. It was a minor fib, but it exposed something bigger. Nearly every move The Rock made seemed calculated for maximum buzz and profit, turning him into a walking billboard. Followers felt duped. They'd bought into his endorsements, from Zoa Energy to Under Armour, because they believed the man behind the smile was authentic. Now he looked less like a person and more like a perfectly packaged brand. He tried to patch things with the edit and a breezy excuse, but the dent in trust lingered. A burger slip-up might not bring down an empire, but it pulled a brick from the carefully built wall around his image. If a fast food blunder could shake faith, the questions about his body hit even harder. At 51, Johnson still flaunts a jaw-dropping physique, feeding fans a steady stream of 4 a.m. gym clips stamped #hardest worker in the room. The sweat-drenched grind became a global emblem of discipline, convincing millions they too could achieve that look with grit alone. But soon the legend started to wobble. He'd bragged about wolfing down 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day to stay huge, a proof of his superhuman drive. Trainers like Greg Doucette called foul. No way someone stays that lean on 8,000 calories. He'd pack on 45 kilos. His famed cod and rice meals barely hit 3,000. The 8,000 number, critics argued, was a myth built to feed the brand. Even his workouts were dissected. In a supposedly raw, unedited video, The Rock looked like he was dying mid-squat. But Doucette pointed out he was only moving 2 plates per side, a weight bikini competitors rep out with ease. The exhaustion was theater, part of a polished, narrative-selling relentless effort. The sweat, the strain, the no days off mantra, props on a stage where Johnson played the role of invincible hustler.
But look at the grimaces on his face. Notice how hard he seems to be pushing. This is 2 plates on each side. A man of The Rock's stature, size, and strength, I would believe that this would be a cakewalk. Many bikini competitors could lift this much weight. And I'm not trying to strength shame him here, but I believe that you're lying when you say that this kicked your ass. There is no way that this was difficult for you.
I had been very fortunate to have the career that I've had over the years and make the films that I've made. There was just voice inside of me, the little voice that, well, what if I could do more, and I want to do more, and what does that look like?
Then came the question that cut deepest. Is The Rock's body really natural? For years, Johnson's insisted he only experimented with steroids once, at 18, and never touched them again, waving off whispers as ridiculous. But the visuals tell a different story. At 50, instead of softening with age, he's somehow leaner and bigger than he was in his 30s. Fitness pros have grown skeptical. Eddie Hall has floated the idea that he's on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, while Joe Rogan flat out scoffed, "No way, you don't build that physique on TRT alone." Greg Doucette went even harder, saying, "I don't just think he's not natural, I believe he's on everything he can get." For experts, the verdict is clear. At that age, a body like his doesn't happen without a serious assist.
You can't even get there with HRT. That's not HRT.
Not only do I not think he's natural, I don't think he's on HRT. I think he's on the kitchen sink. Whatever he can take.
Really?
I think he's on all of it and then some. You don't get big like that into your 50s compared to your 40s and 30s. Like you see some photos of him in his 30s, he's way bigger and leaner now.
Each teardown chipped away at the statue. The rallying cry that hard work is enough started to look like an alluring fairy tale sold to kids who then bought protein shakes and energy drinks believing in a myth. On X, the hashtag #RockOnRoids blew up. Hard work or hard injections became the mocking refrain, and the tone quickly shifted from admiration to betrayal. Fans who'd dropped cash on Zoa Energy, Under Armour, and other endorsements felt hoodwinked. What seemed like authenticity now read as a meticulously managed ad campaign. Silence was his response. In interviews, he smiled, sidestepped, and kept repeating the mantra of hard work, but dodging questions only widened the gap between the persona and the person. That inauthenticity bled into his film ambitions. Black Adam was pitched as his crown jewel, a DC launchpad he not only starred in but tightly produced and controlled. Yet the movie underperformed, pulling in about $393 million worldwide on a $260 million price tag, and, insiders said, needing roughly $600 million to break even. Reports claim losses between $50 $100 million, and critics accuse Johnson of pushing a rosier narrative to the press, even promoting optimistic streaming and ancillary numbers that outlets later called dubious. Instead of owning the miss, he pushed back publicly, and the backlash turned into a punchline. "After 25 years, we finally know way. At The Rock's cooking. Cooked books," one critic quipped. The credibility hole widened with other missteps. When Joe Rogan faced heat for racist slurs, Johnson's initial public praise for Rogan forced a quick backtrack and apology after the outrage intensified. A move some read as tone-deaf and spin-first. His long-form talk with Rogan didn't help. Viewers called it one-sided and sterile, accusing Johnson of playing it safe and serving press-friendly sound bites rather than substance. And after the tragic 2023 Maui wildfires, the People's Fund of Maui, he and Oprah each pledged $5 million, drew criticism for soliciting public donations while, critics argued, a billionaire-level celebrity could have given far more personally. His apology, "I could have done better and I'll do better next time," did little to quiet the chorus. The math, observers said, simply didn't add up, and every apology felt like another scripted line from a PR playbook rather than a real reckoning.
When we first launched the fund, there was some backlash, and I want to address and acknowledge that backlash right now. And here's what I have to say about that. I get it, and I completely understand, and I could have been better, and next time I will be better.
And I want to know when we get to go back to our home in White. Maybe it's gone, but for reasons that I don't want to discuss, we need to go back there. Are you guys going to just scrape it all away and say disaster zone? And America's going to get what they want, their satellite city?
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui.
You're so concerned about what's happening in Maui that you somehow managed to hire a private firefighting team to protect your land before the fires started. You're so concerned about what's happening in Maui that instead of taking some of that land and housing even a small portion of those displaced people, you've hired a private security team to keep them off your land.
And so we have created the People's Fund of Maui that will put money directly in the hands of the people who need it right now. So if you send a donation, just click where you see below and send a donation.
Both episodes underlined something fans had started whispering about. The Rock rarely plants his feet. He bends with public opinion, morphing from motivational guru to tequila salesman to tour bus pitchman. About 3/4 of his Instagram is pure ads, earning him the jab, Dwayne the Ad Johnson. The sense of a principled hero faded. He looked more like a brand chasing applause. But nothing gutted his reputation like the WWE fiasco. On January 23, 2024, Johnson proudly announced his seat on WWE's board, promising to build for and serve the people. Just 10 days later, he jumped into WrestleMania 40's main storyline, putting himself against Roman Reigns. The same spot fans thought belonged to Cody Rhodes, the young star who had earned a title shot by winning the Royal Rumble. When Rhodes abruptly bowed out for The Rock, fans smelled boardroom politics. The promo hyping the match racked up 700,000 plus dislikes, becoming the most reviled WWE video ever. On X, #CodyDeservesBetter trended, with thousands accusing Johnson of hijacking a story that wasn't his. Even fellow wrestlers bristled. Seth Rollins publicly called the move disrespectful to those who'd clawed their way up in WWE. Sources said creative plans were scrambled, forcing WWE to rewrite the arc so Rhodes could topple Reigns in April. Johnson later framed his withdrawal as part of a bigger plan to build drama, but many weren't buying it. Bigger plan? More like a plan to lose fans, one post read. By then, years of goodwill were unraveling. For the first time, Johnson was shedding thousands of Instagram followers every hour, a wild reversal for a star who'd once added 5 million a month. New films stalled, sequels to Red Notice and Jungle Cruise went quiet. The once bulletproof brand now conjured words like inauthentic, overreaching, and irresponsible. Each controversy looked like another doming. No, the Vin Diesel feud screamed ego. The burger fibs and calorie myths showed an obsession with curating an image. Steroid rumors cracked the hard work is enough mantra. Black Adam exposed shaky math and hubris. His Rogan and Maui missteps revealed flimsy conviction. And WrestleMania delivered the knockout blow. The takeaway is brutal but clear. Chasing universal approval leaves you with none. Build too much of yourself into a brand, and authenticity, the glue binding fans to their heroes, slips away. Johnson's empire was stacked on small exaggerations, corporate polish, and an allergy to accountability. He tried to be everything: wrestler, box office king, mogul, and risked becoming a hollow shell. Still, his story isn't locked. A comeback is possible, but only if he ditches the flawless persona and steps forward as Dwayne Johnson, a man willing to admit flaws, face criticism, and rebuild from the rubble. In a world starving for sincerity, the question is whether he'll trade the billboard smile for genuine honesty, or keep serving carefully cooked tales forever stuck in the shadow of The Rock.